We are charting the higher octave with my return guest today, all the way from Philadelphia, Philadelphia-based art duo Tulipomania. I got Tom Murray and CHERYL GELOVER. Thank you guys for joining me again, and it's always a pleasure to have you guys. You guys, like I said, you guys are always you never cease to amaze me what's happening with what you're doing, all your projects, and people you've met in the past. I guess you manifested all these things, because you are doing what you're doing, right? You are
Yeah.
doing that creativity, that Aquarian creativity, futuristic kind of, you know. Um,
Well,
and
thank you.
the last time you were on the show was 2 years ago, right? I believe it was 2013. Yeah, 2023. And we were talking about your album at the time, and your collaboration with Vaughn Oliver, 23 Envelope, which was just so amazing. And then and he passed away. I
In
think
19, yeah, in 2019, he passed away.
yeah. And then we were talking about that, and you were saying how you met him, and I'm just blown away by that because I wanted to meet him.
Mhm.
His albums were very inspirational for people that love 4AB. And if you grew up in that period and you were a big fan of 4AB, then you recognize his work. And I think art is something that needs to be appreciated by more people. It's
Absolutely.
like an art that can quickly be taken away. Art is so special. And then you
Absolutely.
and then you met the legendary Martin Ware of Heaven 17, which is another, like, I grew up listening to Heaven 17. I still love them actually.
Yeah. Hmm.
And Human League, all those, guys. So, and then now you are working with this another amazing legend, the author of the award-winning trilogy, Southern Reach, Jeff VanderMeer. So I wanted to ask you, like, how did this happen? How did this collaboration take place?
Yeah, we were just really lucky. We on Twitter one day, out of the blue, after the album we had talked to you about, after our second to last record that we just made, we had just come out when we had talked to you last time. He started listening to that album a lot and was inspired by it. So he started to post about how he loved our music and how
Wow.
uh, that entire album, Dreaming of Sleep, really meant a lot to him,
Mm-hmm.
and that he, just started for over a short period of time, just a lot of posts about how inspirational it was for what he was writing,
Wow.
and then we reached out to him because of this, and he was just incredibly gracious and just immediately wanted to try to work together. And he was talking to us about collaborating on something he didn't know what, and it was like a pretty fast progress there, and over like probably like a couple of weeks, he yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah, well, at that time he was working on Absolution, and we didn't know what the timeline was, but he said, "Would you be willing to develop an album?" And I think you came back with, we didn't know if the whole album could be tailored to Absolution, but
And we hadn't read it yet
we
because
hadn't
we,
read it yet. We had,
you know,
and a work in progress is an amazing thing to have access to. If someone gives you
Mhm.
access
Oh yeah.
to a work in progress, that was enormously flattering that he trusted us to be able to read through what he was working on and then be able to respond. That was an enormous leap of faith on his part, I believe. And I felt so privileged to be able to read this work in progress. Absolution as it was at that time, the first, I'm not sure if it was the first draft, but one of the drafts. So that was,
he told us it hadn't been to the editors
it
yet.
had not been to the editor yet. And I think he did make us promise we're not going to share this file, which of course we didn't, but just having access to this was pretty amazing. So
We got a couple of iterations before
yeah,
before it
yeah.
became the final version, and they are substantially different than the final version and that was published. So there was a lot of things in it that were still in flux. Uh,
Yeah, I think it's really amazing that it was the Dreaming of Sleep album, right? That created this, that kind of brought you guys together, right? And from what I
yeah,
heard about him, Mr. Jeff VanderMeer, is that he was inspired to create this trilogy from thing that happened, the
Yeah,
dental surgery and
right,
a root canal.
right. He was in a sort of a dreaming state, half
Right.
Yeah,
conscious.
yeah.
Yeah, and
So
he said he was writing in kind of a fever dream too
Hmm.
on this.
Yeah.
And he listened to the one track. You had to be there. Like he just listened to it over and over again. He said on repeat while he was writing one of the chapters in the book.
Hmm.
yeah, and from what I heard too, I think he's a Buddhist, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, don't quote me on that. I'm not sure, but I think it is. I think because that's kind of. So I can see that he meditates. He must meditate. I mean, I'm just guessing. I feel he does because,
It
well,
wouldn't surprise me, but I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah. I totally understand what's going on here because when you go into that dream state, you get that inspiration. You know, the
Hmm.
alpha state of meditation. Because I meditate, and I am able to go into that state of meditation. So the alpha state, which is a state where you can heal yourself, where you kind of go into the creative process. That's a creative state where you get this inspiration. And usually the time to do that is when you're just about to wake up, when you just awoken, like in that first 30 minutes. If you wait too long, you're already fully awake, And that's kind of like where you go when you're in that sleep. So probably I don't know if he was put into, I guess he must have been in a sleep mode, right? Because of that dental surgery, you got to be in sleep mode. So he must have been in a different,
I'm
I guess,
sure.
I guess that's a theta mode or the delta mode.
Yeah,
Delta.
I'm sure he's talked about it because he did a lot of interviews a decade ago when the first books came out.
Hmm.
But I really don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
that seems plausible. I've seen that in writing that
Yeah.
he had it was a like a semi dream state that you were talking about.
Yeah,
But
because I get that's the reason I do interviews in the morning because I'm more there's more creativity. You can create things, you can form, you can get inspired to just things that just come into your brain. They just come in.
sure,
So
yeah,
and I think that's part of what's happening, which is really interesting because I'm really fascinated with the brain level, the brain waves.
it's interesting. I'm sure it's the same sort of state, but I'm really obsessed with really late at night. Like I usually do everything like 2 in the morning. Like it's for me it's late.
Hmm. Yeah.
So a lot of things are recorded late. A lot of things
Hmm.
are written late.
Yeah,
A lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
that.
No, I mean everybody does things differently, and I'm sure that I mean I do things late at night too. I can't sleep sometimes. I kind of have I kind of stay up. I think I get less sleep than anything.
Yeah, that's a
I
problem.
mean I wish I slept more because I think I could be healthier. But oh well. So how did he reach out to you guys? I mean, did he just? I know he reached out in Twitter, and then all of a sudden, so now you're working with him in this
At
in
that
this
point,
album.
yeah, he reached out. He wasn't reaching out to us. Like he just reached out to everybody on his that were following him, telling them how it was just effusive praise. That was really about us, and he didn't really reach out to us. I responded, like Cheryl and I
Oh,
responded, and then he started talking to us.
Hmm.
But initially, he wasn't trying to like do anything except tell everybody he liked it, that
Hmm.
he thought it was great. And
wow.
he put up links and linked to all, and he did it on all the social media platforms.
Hmm.
And then he reached out, after I wrote to him, we started text chatting, and then we exchanged email addresses, and then we talked quite a lot from there on. And it accelerated into, like, initially, like Cheryl was saying, uh, maybe it's a whole album, and it got to be that we would rework all the tracks of Dreaming of Sleep, which was 10 tracks, and we would make new versions of those.
Yeah, I
Uh,
see
and
that.
we and we would also do 4 new songs. We didn't know how many new songs we could actually get done in like the 2 months there was to do it.
Yeah.
So we wrote 4 songs while we were reading the rough drafts of his novel, and we shared those with him, and he was thrilled with that and everything. And then we just put it all together in a new Absolution
Mix.
version of the album,
Oh,
basically with
Hmm.
4 new tracks.
Hmm.
So half of the album 10 tracks were influential for his writing of the novel, and 4 of the tracks were influenced by the novel.
Hmm. Yeah. That was a little bit uncertain,
mhm.
knowing that he already liked the music from Dreaming of Sleep. That was pretty solid. But then he took a risk in reaching out to us, and then I felt like we were really taking a risk with the 4 new songs because we didn't know
Right.
how that was going to be received.
So what are the songs?
You Had to Be There, Never Know, I've Been Told, and Then and Only Then. I'm sorry, yes.
Mhm,
Those are the ones with videos. So
mhm, mhm.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Because I know there's an Absolution mix, right? With some of them.
right. All of them are new versions
Oh,
from
the new version.
right. So
Is
all of
that
them are
for,
we call them Absolution mixes because they're the only they're the same song titles if you look for them on any sort of electronic
Mhm.
Spotify or wherever.
uh-huh.
So all the ones that are new versions say Absolution mix, and then the others don't have Absolution mix after them. They're just new.
Mhm.
Except for the first one has the first new one has a title Absolution or as part of the title.
Mhm. Yeah.
So these songs, are they going to be in a particular soundtrack?
No, he didn't. He doesn't have a soundtrack really. It's just really it was released with the book. So the album came out about 3 weeks after the hardcover copy
Mhm.
of the book came out, and the covers are designed by the same artist
Mhm.
who designed the book. So we have a related version. The sort of alligator on the cover is very
Yes,
similar to the
alligator.
alligator that's on the cover of the books,
Yeah.
and they're designed and printed in a matching way. So we have a CD version and a vinyl version that go along with the release of the book. And now, in another couple of weeks here, the paperback version is going to be out. So I'm sure that we'll notice that it's been that this is available as well.
Mhm.
So the music is with the book?
Not always, but it's sort of sold together, not packaged together, but available. Like
Mm.
Oh,
it's more like he wrote the liner notes for the album, so the album, and we'll send you a physical copy so you can see all this. We'll send you some physical
Yeah.
copies.
yeah, no, thank you. So can I ask you about your music? Because it is really your music is wonderful. You know, just the you can hear it, and that's it's very like what do you call it? You can feel it when you hear it. You can feel it.
Thank you.
Do you
Thank
work
you.
with a certain frequency when you make the like a certain frequency? You know how there's a love frequency, the hertz. You know how.
No,
Oh yeah.
no specific frequency, but yeah, like I'm sure we're playing, in this standard A440 tuning, but we're not using any of the sort of alternate tunings or any of that. So,
But
but
you
it's
must be challenging it. You must be um you know somehow reaching that frequency, channeling it maybe.
yeah, we're just unaware of it. Like we're just doing what we're doing. Like
Mhm.
there's no intent to reach any specific frequency.
Oh.
That's a huge compliment, though, that you would say that. So thank you for that. That's
I mean,
wonderful.
it's pretty obvious because somebody can, listen to it on Twitter and then find out about, and think that way, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was enormously
It must be
flattering.
triggering something in the unconscious, maybe.
Mhm. Yeah, and the fact that um, Jeff VanderMeer was inspired to offer to write the liner notes. That was something we never would have asked for. This whole idea that you would ask someone, "Oh, if that meant something to you, can you write about it?" That was something that he offered. We never would have approached him that way. So that was enormously that was a huge honor. That was enormously flattering that he would be willing to do that. We're very grateful to him for that.
No, I mean, you guys have beautiful energy, you know. I mean, it's really coming from the heart. You guys have always been you're so uh easy to talk to. You have no what do you call that? Uh ego. There's big egos that people that a lot of musicians tend to have, you know. But you're so down to earth, I guess.
Oh,
That's
So
nice.
that's lovely. Thank you.
and it's a big deal, you know, and because you give that positive energy, that frequency, elevated frequency that the people like. So that's why.
Nice. Yeah, we've been very lucky. Like the people that Jeff reached out to us obviously first. Well, he didn't reach out to us, but he became aware of us and talked about us first before we reached out to him. But almost everybody we've ever talked to, we've had a good rapport with. We don't really have any
Yeah,
sort of conflict.
yeah.
Um,
We've been lucky too. I've admired Vaughn's work for so long, and then it was really thrilling
Mhm.
to be able to meet him.
Mhm.
And there are others as well, like Martin Ware. You wouldn't, I don't
No,
know,
that's amazing.
Yeah, they're just really nice people. All these people are really nice.
extremely, as you said, down to earth and easy to work with. There,
Yeah, he's really nice.
that's a wonderful surprise when someone you admire, you reach out to them, and you understand that they're actually, besides being a very talented person, that they're a very kind and nice person to work with. That's always
Yeah,
a wonderful thing when that happens.
and
Yeah.
gracious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's called
And
serendipity.
yeah,
yeah,
right. That's
yeah,
exactly all it's been.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
What about Mal? Did you want to?
I know. Yeah, we were lucky. We made some music videos for Stephen Mallender,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
that music video. That's the one
Yeah.
that's on let me see, what's the name of the song in the music video? I've been told.
that's us. That's our music.
Yeah, yeah.
Shock to the Body.
Excuse me.
What just the animation that we created for that this last fall won best experimental animation, or I'm sorry, best experimental film at the Liverpool Film Festival, and that's just that was a real honor to have that happen, because we got the video out there, and you never know what's going to happen, but if it's appreciated to the point where it wins an award. That's just an extra extra nice surprise. And he was really uh, very easygoing, very
Yeah.
nice to work with. Which again, it's like, oh my goodness, this is someone who we've admired forever, and then here we are working with him. So I found that
So you're talking about
especially
the I've been told? Is that
No, no.
shock to the body
oh, shock to the body?
from Stephen Mallander's album. Um,
Oh,
Tick
that's
Tick Tick is the album. So, and that must have been really challenging for him as well, because that was something that it was actually released during the pandemic.
I'm not sure anymore.
It's a little hard, it's a little fuzzy now to know
oh yeah,
exactly
yeah.
when.
So
But
what about the animated video I've been told? Are you gonna enter that into the
Yes, definitely.
hmm
We it just
yeah,
came out last week or the week before. I forget which on Magnet Magazine. It
hmm
was premiered online. So that's the first that's up, and then that's the second music video we made for the new tracks that
yeah,
we for our current album Absolution.
yeah,
We have four videos now from that album. So
right.
and three of them have been out at film festivals, but that one has not yet.
Yeah. Well, I've been told is actually going to be showing at Anafilm in the Czech Republic. So that's a very nice animation festival. We're extremely um, honored to have been selected for that. And Never Knew is out with Magnet Magazine, and always we're grateful for their support. They're based here in Philadelphia, but we don't expect that. Oh, we're in the same area that you're going to connect with our music. So that's always wonderful when they're feeling that they can support us.
Again, he's just the editor Eric Miller is just the nicest guy too. Like it's
Yeah,
just luck.
yeah,
yeah, because I know your animated music videos have been featured in numerous film festivals worldwide, like let me see here, the Leeds International Film Festival, the Croatia and Poland Film Festival. I can't remember the name of that, but I know it's somewhere there. And then Russia and Italy, the Montreal International Film Festival, and so much more, right?
Right,
yeah,
right. We've been very lucky with that as
yeah,
well.
right.
Yeah, I don't know how you keep up with all these film festivals.
We're always making stuff, so we're just trying to keep,
Right. Yeah.
you know,
As soon as something's completed, the next thought is, well, where can we send this where people might connect with it? And then you have to realize that it's a two-way street. You know, if a film festival is showing work that you can relate to, you hope that they might be able to relate to what you're doing. And again, it's very it's a nice fit when it happens,
mhm.
when they relate to what we're doing.
That's sort of the way it was with Vaughn, and
Yeah.
we lucked out with Jeff VanderMeer. Like all these,
Yeah.
just people who related to what we were doing
hmm
and or enjoyed it or appreciated it in some way.
hmm
So yeah, on Absolution, this album, you also work with the executive producer Howard Thompson, right?
Right,
Yeah.
we've worked with Howard on everything we've ever recorded
hmm
actually for like 20 years now.
Yeah.
So we've been
Oh,
he was he's somebody who's been helpful in supporting us as long as I can remember. So he used to, he ran Electra for a while, and then Almo Sounds,
Yeah.
and
I know, and he's
he
worked with Adam Ant, some of the best like
yeah,
music that artists that
York,
I
York,
play.
like
Yeah.
Public Image
Sugar Cube.
Limited, Psychedelic Furs, like Sugar Cubes.
right. Yeah,
Mhm.
no, he's just
Good
and he's
times.
just again, he's just a really nice person, and he's selfless with his time. He spends so much time helping us.
Yeah.
He listened to all the tracks from this album, and then he had time to work with us on the four new ones as well.
hmm
So
Yeah.
Wow.
he just always seems to make time to work with us.
And he always has good suggestions.
Yeah,
if
it's
if he has a suggestion, we're really going to take it seriously because we really connect with his aesthetic and know that he
Oh yeah, yeah,
um,
I can see that.
supports ours.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's really nice because he spends so much time. He'll listen to everything,
hmm
like multiple versions, multiple times. He puts lots of time in.
Yeah. So are you guys making another video for Absolution?
We have a remix
Yeah.
that Martin Ware made for us. He made a remix for Dreaming of Sleep, but he's made a different remix for one of the tracks from this album, and we're going to try to make a video for that.
hmm
Oh, is that remix in this in
No, it'll be a
okay.
remix that comes after. So like probably in 2 months we'll have it out. A month, maybe a month
Oh,
if we're lucky.
wow. I would love to hear that.
I'll send it to you for sure.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, okay. So if anybody want to check out the music and where to find it, what's the best way? I know
On our,
you have a
on our
website.
yeah, on our website there's links to the Bandcamp. It's like tulipomania.com. It's probably the fastest way to find things. But
Mhm.
we're also Tulipomania on Bandcamp. So
Anything else coming up that we should know about? I know you've got this amazing, I mean, I'm always amazed at all these mixes. Um just how you have all the time to put this all together and just still work on other projects at the same time, you know?
thanks. So we don't have. It's only that remix, and we started recording like just a little bit for a new record. So we'll probably
Right.
work on that over the summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's really
That's always exciting to think about. Well, what's going to be next? And
Yeah. So what inspired the new one?
it's just yeah. I don't. There's no. It's continuous, ongoing. Inspiration. But
you got to keep
Inspiration,
moving.
yeah. I don't,
inspiration in the late hours of the night.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And also, like, action precedes motivation.
hmm
If you start working, you get motivated.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's like, if you don't work, it's inertia, right? If you keep moving, you keep moving. And if
Right.
you
No,
stop
that's right.
moving,
Yeah, when you're on a roll, you're on a roll, right?
right.
Yeah.
And so you just keep moving.
But you guys have been in a roll now for quite a while.
Yeah, it's been more than a decade of continuously making stuff for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. I don't know that we would have gotten new tracks out so soon if it hadn't been for Jeff VanderMeer. So we should thank him for that as well, because just having finished Dreaming of Sleep, we're thinking, oh, wait a minute, now we're responding to this novel. And that sparked new ideas and sent us in different directions. And we had this idea that we are not going to just put something out or send
Mhm.
anything to him unless we really felt that it was strong. And we do feel like those four tracks were strong, or we wouldn't have released them. So I don't know if those four tracks would have. I don't think they would have come about if it wasn't
Yeah,
for.
it's really unlikely,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Everything's contextual, right? Like they
hmm
were made in that context. I'm not
hmm
sure those songs would have ever been made without
hmm
that. In fact, I know they wouldn't have been.
No, I
So
definitely. I don't because
Oh
they're
yeah,
not.
yeah. Well, you guys are like I said, serendipity, right? It's just sometimes there are just things you can't explain in the universe.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, right.
lots of
Right.
that.
No, there's definitely something there because I remember when we were mixing Dreaming of Sleep, I remember at one point listening to um, the tracks in a row and saying to Tom, I know I said to you, this is cinematic. There's something here. It's almost like a narrative and not knowing exactly what that narrative was. And then you have an author who's responding to it, which was not anything that we planned. So that definitely there's, as you're saying, there's energy and there's serendipity and maybe there's something else that we don't know about that just tied it all together.
Yeah. And you guys are very Aquarian, by the way.
I'm going to take that as a supreme compliment. So
Oh,
thank
it
you.
is a compliment. Yeah, not everybody
Yeah,
is Aquarian.
yeah.
So that's you're innovative and all that, just great with things and technology and with the world today, it does
Thank
coincide,
you.
you know. But I'm always so happy to have you guys on the show, and I'll put the link on the bottom of the page, and be sure to let us know when is the next coming up coming up album,
We'll do.
next collaboration, and a big shout out to Shameless Promotion PR as
All
always.
right. Thank you, Shauna.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Tom and Cheryl.
Thank you, DJ
Thanks.
Nocturne. I really
The
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Pomania. Yeah, okay. One second.